High-performance athletes, today's video in our athlete lecture series is talking about one of the processes we use to develop athletes. In a later video, we're going to get into the pyramid, the theoretical hierarchy of athletic development, but this is more kind of like broad strokes. And I heard one of our coaches say this, explain this a very, very simple way, and we're going to start that. We're going to get a little nerdy kind of down the road, but the topic is the 3 waves of adaptation. So how we change your body, or how you change your body while you're in the gym. So the coach that I was talking about said, and as they're explaining this, you learn, you train, and then you maximize or strategize. So let's talk about that for a second. Learn. The first wave of adaptation that you'll experience in the gym is a neuromuscular adaptation. What that means is coordination. So as you learn new movements, or movements in general, your body gets better at doing that movement. If you do the right movement, it gets better at doing the right movement. And I like to use this example when I talk about neuromuscular as watching a kid learn how to walk. So as a kid learns how to walk, like they pull up on something and they take their first very unsteady step and then they fall. Well, then they can take, before too long they're taking 2 steps and they take 3 steps and 4 steps. So they keep falling and falling and falling, but eventually, honestly, like within a week, they're walking. Not very well, but they're walking. Their body gets more coordinated. The signal from their brain to spinal cord to muscles that need to fire, fires. And it fires in the right pattern. And they're able to walk with relative ease pretty soon after learning how to walk. And then next thing you know, they're running. And they're jumping and they're flipping after that. It's just like you can't keep up with them after they learn how to walk. And that's a neuromuscular adaptation. Babies don't get stronger. They don't see their muscles grow and they learn how to walk. They just get more coordinated. You're going to learn some things in the gym in the next couple of weeks that are going to push that boundary a little bit. You're going to feel not coordinated at all when you do certain movements for the first time. Classic ones are double unders, so jump rope skill, and snatches. These things just feel weird learning them for the first time, and that's totally normal. What'll happen is you will get better with practice with those movements. You will get more coordinated the more you practice the right movement. Now, once we get through that, and honestly for most people learning a new movement, that neuromuscular coordination happens 6 weeks of learning a new movement, all right? After that is where the training occurs, or people commonly refer to it as the gains of what they're trying to do. Does the movement we're doing elicit the right response for your body? Does it do what it's supposed to do? If I have you do a strength workout, does it get you stronger? If I have you do a cardio-based or an endurance workout, does that get you higher cardiac output, higher VO2 max? Do we increase what we want to increase? Are we training the right way? And we'll talk in a second about our 10 general physical skills and kind of how they play into things, but really that level 2, that second wave of adaptation is all about us programming, you doing, and you getting the absolute benefit from the workout, not counting the coordination that it takes to do it. So this is where the bulk of your training lies, inside training. Now, we also, inside this training, there's lots of continuums. Like, it doesn't just happen automatically. We like to, in the neuromuscular part, the wave 1, teach you the mechanics. Learn the mechanics, learn how to move. And inside that movement, you'll also find the ability to move consistently. Can you do the same good movement pattern over and over and over again? All right. Once you get there, then the gains come when you can incorporate intensity to that consistent movement pattern. That's where functional movements and kind of like high intensity functional movements, that's why they work so well, because of the high intensity. We've got a couple ways to vary intensity, and we just define intensity super simple. It's force times distance divided by time. So how heavy, how far, how fast, right? Intensity is scalable based off the individual, so it's a relative intensity, but also, like we talked about in a previous video, the intensity is earned, right? We want to make sure that you are moving better, not moving more or faster first. We want you to move better. Then, when you get to do the intensity part, the how heavy, how far, how fast, you get a much bigger bang for your buck from an actual fitness gain standpoint. All right, and a lot of this, the gains and the training is going to be a conversation you have with the coach, finding out what the intention of the day is. Hey, what's the intention of this workout? And then the coach is able to adjust the workout based off of your ability level and your kind of mechanics, consistency, intensity, where you fall in that continuum. The coach is able to adjust the workout so that you get the intended stimulus that we want you to get. You might not do the same weight because you haven't earned the right to do that yet, but you can get as relatively good intensity at a modified weight or movement pattern based off of where you are, right? Which is kind of the cool part about why we have coaches here, is because the coaches are here to help you do that the entire time. So that's wave two, is it the training doing what it's supposed to be doing? We'll break that down in a second, a little bit further. And then last is going to be that strategizing or maximizing. Wave three is specialized gains designed for a specific purpose. So imagine the first two waves are like general fitness. We call this general physical preparedness, getting you ready for just about everything. And that last wave of adaptation is specializing in one particular category. So get all the training done you can, blah, 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 do all this processing stuff, and then you want to train for a specific sport. And you have to do some very specific training for that sport. Or you use auxiliary movements and accessory movements to help maximize a level 2 adaptation. An example of this is, say, squats. So sometimes in order to squat heavier weight, we do things called barbell walkouts. So we'll put say our back squat weight is, let's just say 200 pounds for argument's sake. So in order to give my body like a next level adaptation for that 200 pounds, I'm going to walk out 300 pounds on my back. So my body kind of starts to get used to that, and it specializes the adaptation to a heavier load and things like that. We don't use level 3 adaptations a whole lot in here because the whole point of what we're trying to do is to be good at everything and not really specialize in any one thing. However, if that is part of your personal goal, say I want to be good at marathon running or like 5Ks, it's my jam, then we can give you some level 3 adaptations, some third wave adaptations for those things. That's just a conversation that you're going to have. We spend the bulk of our time learning new movements, so neuromuscular gains, and then actually training those movements with our second wave adaptation. So going back to those second wave adaptations is we have 10 general physical skills that we're trying to accomplish every week in here. 4 are trained through some sort of organic way, like I'm going to move a heavier weight, it's going to get me stronger, I'm going to stretch a little further, it's going to get me more flexible, yada, yada, yada. So the 4 organic ways to train with the physical skills we're trying to do is strength. I can overload the strength system and have you get stronger. Flexibility. I can overload the stretch system and kind of get you more flexible. There's some ways we'll talk about flexibility, mobility kind of later video. There's also stamina. I can, through cardiorespiratory demands, I can get your body more efficient at processing oxygen and utilizing oxygen a little bit better than before. So think about like stamina as being increased cardiovascular output and increased cardiovascular function. And then endurance is, for us, is local muscle endurance. I want to make sure that my muscles can withstand the rigors of exercise in life. But we can train that. We can build that up through repetition. All right? The 4 ways to train your body through just practice and practicing the right movements is accuracy. I'm going to get more accurate the more I practice doing something. Imagine free throws. All right, so we do things like wall balls, and I'm trying to place my feet in the right spot for like jerks and things like that. Very, very accurate way to do things, and that just comes with practice. I get better accuracy as the more I practice. Balance is the same thing. I get better balance by practicing some balance style movements. And then coordination, we already talked about coordination. That is practicing the right movements gets you more coordinated at that movement. And then agility, same thing. The ability to change direction, the ability to stop momentum and change direction, go the other way or go another way is something that you practice in the gym. And we'll break things out. We'll do some agility-based drills to make sure that you can do that successfully. And then the last 2 are kind of a combination of organic and practice. It's speed and power. I'm going to train all 10 of those in a weekly setting here in the gym. So a good thing for you to do with that commandment video we talked about not too long ago is ask questions. So ask the coach, what's the intention for the day? Are we working on strength? Are we working on endurance? Are we working on power? Are we working on speed? What are we doing? All right, and they should be able to respond to that and tell you kind of where you fall in that category. But also, you need to be able to understand if it's a new movement, you just learned this movement, we're not going to load the movement at all. We're going to practice the movement first to start to get that first wave adaptation. And then once we get that first wave adaptation, when you feel like you've got it and you have the mechanics down and you're consistent, then we can start to get the bang for our buck with the intensity part of that training stimulus that we were talking about earlier. And then if it's something that you really, really want to excel at and you want to be super good at, we can start to do some of that third wave adaptation of some specialized training for that movement specifically. All right, so there we have it. Our waves of adaptation. We spend a lot of time in 1 and 2 and are able to do 3. We just don't like to do 3 for every single person because everybody's a little bit different. They don't want to do the same specialization. So if you want to get better at a specific skill, meet with a coach, talk to your coach, talk to the coach that's coaching the class or your PT session or small group fundamentals, and let us know, and we can help you on that path. So again, thanks for being part of the gym. We will see you guys on the next video. All right, have a good day, guys.